There are three dimensions of realities underlying this existence. The one which comes first is non-being. Another is being. And the reality that falls in between them is what we are going to address today here. The reality that comes in between non-being and being is something that we philosophers, psychologists, transcendentalists or spiritualists very often miss altogether. What is this in-between reality actually? This in-between reality is always beyond the purview of linguistic attempts. That means whatever words or sentences or symbols or metaphors we employ to convey the idea of this gap, which I am calling in between reality that comes between non-being and being, is actually an interconnected network joining the 2 points of extremes. It serves as a bridge between non-being. What is non-being? Non-being is, in the words of Immanuel Kant, a thing in itself. That means a situation, an object. Look at this chair. Look at this flower tree. Look at everything. Look at the breath that you take in and out round the clock. It is a kind of reality which we cannot comprehend intellectually or otherwise. It is always beyond our purview. It is something which can be inferred by employing logical mode of exploration. It cannot be directly perceived. Then comes being, or the phenomenon, or the manifestation, which is the gross outcome of that phenomenon, of that non-being. The gross material existence. The gross material existence that you can see around yourself. This manifestation, this being, is always before your perception, sensuous perception especially. So we have no problem in comprehending the nature, scope, origin and evolution of this gross, solid, material phenomenon, which Sir Einstein calls the relative universe. But there is something more to it, which I am calling the gap. The gap that comes or falls between that unmanifested reality, which I am calling non-being or noumenon or a thing in itself. This gap is to be understood as it appears to us in a deeper dimension of awareness. In that gap, there are many truths in varied forms which exist as an evolving, undifferentiated, interconnected bridge serving between these two realities, non-being and being. So this gap or the in-between reality is to be sussed out when we are totally silent, totally contemplative. Our thought process is totally, completely, altogether passive, yet intellectually vacant, yet full of infinite potential. In that dimension of subtler awareness, you see that gap as it stands, or as it is, or according to J. Krishnamurti, one of the profoundest philosophers of the world, which he calls what is. So once we are able to understand what is, or a thing as it is, we penetrate into the deluding mystery of our existence. That in between gap is the real truth. Without understanding it, trying to understand other things is futile. So we have to go deeper into that in-between reality to understand the non-being and the being. Then three layers of realities become clear to us when we understand that gap. That gap in science is called space. What is space? A gap that exists between two things. So there is nothing without space. All the objects possess a gap, all the objects in the universe, whether it is galaxy or planet or star or tree or anything, that space is to be understood. What is that space? Joining things together. And we have to understand it if you want to get rid of all our delusion. For this we need tremendous amount of subtler awareness or consciousness. Without that dimension, we cannot penetrate into the heart of this mystery. Once these three realities understood together, the delusion we are suffering from is over and out perpetually. Thank you.